This is A Drink with the Hurricane, the talk show discussing all things growing your home care business. This video is sponsored by Home Care Evolution, where we help home care agencies adapt to changing circumstances, transform their business so that they can thrive for years to come. So what Indeed really costs per long-term caregiver, because you only have 15 caregivers left, check this out. It actually costs you $3,600 per long-term caregiver. That's what LTCG stands for. Long-term caregiver, meaning a caregiver who will work for you beyond 12 months. $3,600 going through Indeed at the current industry standard numbers. Now again, I'm not saying this because this is what's going on in your office. But what I am saying is make note of this stuff so that when you go back to your office, look at your metrics. Because I guarantee, as we're trying to increase our profits, right, we are bleeding out money when it comes to recruiting caregivers. This is bleeding out money. $3,600 to get one caregiver that's going to be with you for a year or longer is astronomical. Way, way too high. Does this make sense, everybody? Is this good? All right, that's what I thought. Now let's talk about another referral source. My favorite referral source, which we were very, very good at CareChoice back in my day, was our referral bonus program. Now, our referral bonus program did not cost us $800. I'm not really sure what's all factored into that. That's something I need to follow up with Todd Austin about. But I'm guessing that it was also the staff's time reminding caregivers, and so they put a dollar amount on the time that it takes to remind somebody about it. Because I don't know anybody who's given $800 as a referral bonus to a caregiver. Most people are doing like $100 or something of that nature. I'm going to talk about that in a second, all right? But $837 is what it says is the average. So if I wanted to get 100 caregivers, that would cost me $850, we'll say, times what? So the cost of what it takes to get the caregiver from the staff's time and effort and energy plus what we pay the caregivers, that's why it's $800. Thank you. So $850 for one caregiver times $100, now that's $85,000. That is a lot of money. As a matter of fact, that's $30,000 more than Indeed. Now let's look at the turnover ratio again. What is the turnover ratio for employees from the referral bonus program? What does that say? 30%. 30%. 30% turnover rate. So now if I hire 100 caregivers, right? I'm looking at you because you're my what face. All right, so now you're going to like this. If I hire 100 caregivers, yeah, it costs me $85,000, but a year from now, how many are still working with me if I lose 30? 70. That's much, much better, right? That's the much better face, right? You ever see the meme, the Drake meme, where he's like, and the one he's like, no, and in the second one he's like, yeah. This is the yeah face, right? So look at that, right? 100 caregivers, 30 turned over. Now my cost is $80,000 to get 70 long-term caregivers. That comes out to $1,100 per long-term caregiver. Literally 300% less than what it costs through Indeed. So this is an example of working smarter, not harder. Right? So I'm thinking about it, right? It's like, oh, wow, that makes a lot of sense because even though it does cost me more to get the individual caregiver, that caregiver is staying with me for a longer period of time. You know, if I think about it from this perspective, if I have a caregiver that only works for me for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 3 months, if that's the average, 90 days, that caregiver, they can't be generating more than like $5,000 or $6,000 in revenue for my business. Because you got to think about how many hours they're working, what you're charging or what your reimbursement rate is for the hours that they're providing care, and how much you're making. It can't be more than $5,000, $6,000 that caregiver generated before they left. In this case here, if I have a caregiver who's with me for 12 months or longer, that caregiver is going to probably, because you got to think, I'm probably paying that caregiver $35,000, $40,000 or 30 to 40 in that range. If I'm paying them that much, that means those caregivers are generating $60,000 to $70,000. That's much better. That impacts the bottom line. That could easily be 5% profit margin for your entire business, right there. 5%. So every single one of you, 5% on $1 million is $50,000. I just put $50,000 back in your pocket just from coming here. Was it worth it coming to this event? Yeah. You're welcome. Right? I just gave you $50,000 back by understanding these, just by understanding these numbers and then tracking it. Tracking it. Track it regularly in your organization. This is how you work smarter, not harder. All right? Let me see your hands. Are you guys enjoying this? Let me see your hands. All right, that's what I thought. Good stuff, good stuff. Retention is everything, right? I want to hire people that are going to stay with me for the long term. So I want to find the sources that are going to allow me to keep people working for me, keep them employed. That revenue per caregiver is a very, very important metric that a lot of people don't understand. All right.